Welcome back, team. Today we're doing a blue level workout, as you can see by the lights, and the blue level means that it's an intermediate level. So if you're new to working out, you might want to check out the green entry level workouts. Blue is meant to be that moderate intensity. We're doing some pretty intense movements with a little bit less rest than what you get during your beginner workouts. But if this is the normal and you'd like to try something a little bit more intense, check for the purple level workouts. If you want to go straight to the workout as well, make sure you check the chapter markers below. I've got a link to the workout itself. Otherwise, stick with me now and I'm going to talk through the movements and a little bit of a note on form, etc. And then we can start the workout after that. So the first movement I've got my mat out here because what we're doing is called a plank to push up. If you don't have a mat, you can use a towel. If you've got carpet on the floor, that's fine too. All I'm concerned about is your forearms here. So a plank to push up, it actually goes by a few different names depending on the trainers that you work with. Some people call these commandos, some people call these, many different things. Okay, so what you're gonna do, start off in the plank position. Forearms on the floor, you're gonna push your heels back, squeeze your butt, squeeze your quads. So we're in a plank, and one arm at a time, we're actually gonna go up into the top of a push-up position. So from the forearm plank, left hand, right hand. We're now at the top of the push-up, left hand down, right hand down. And then you alternate the sides. So it's right hand up, right down, right down. So the important thing to note with this is that I'm not letting my shoulders spin or rotate, okay? So the thing that I'm thinking about is if I had a bucket of water on my back, I'm not gonna let the bucket of water rotate. There's a couple of things you can do to help with that. If you find that you've got a lot of rotation side to side like this, spread your legs. If you open your feet up a little bit, that's gonna give you a little bit more stability and give you hopefully a bit more core bracing to be able to fight the rotation. Go at your own speed, see how you go. A lot of tension on the shoulders for that one and a lot of core rotation required to hold yourself stable. After our planks to push-ups, we've got our side skaters. So feel free to move your mat if you need to. You're gonna have about 30 seconds worth of rest to move things into place. Side skaters, we're gonna basically try and jump a channel. Imagine you've got a creak or a hole in the floor here. Start off on one foot with the other leg behind, as if you've just done some bowling. And what we're gonna do is jump across to the other leg, swing that leg behind, touch the toe. So if we're going from right to left, landing on the left foot, right foot swings back, right hand touches the left toe, and then jumping that gap again. So when we put it all together, this is where the name comes from, side skater. This movement here, very good at raising the heart rate, very good for your glute medius as well there. So after side skaters, we're then gonna do bicycle crunches. That's why I've left this mat here. We're laying down on the floor. We're gonna put our knees up into the air. Actually, we're gonna go fingertips at the temples, starting off with the feet on the floor. One at a time, you're gonna raise a knee, touch it to your elbow, and notice my other leg, the foot's raised off the floor. Once we start doing these, I want you to try to not let your heels or your feet touch the floor. You're gonna go nice and slowly to begin with, alternating the elbow to knee and straight leg at the same time. So you're bicycling the feet in the air like that. After our bicycle crunches, we're gonna do squat jumps. Don't need a lot of room for this, but you do want a little bit of a space above you. So full squat down. When we do our squats, heels flat on the floor. If when you do your squats, you feel like you have trouble keeping your heels flat on the floor, that's a good sign to go back to our green level workouts, because our green level workouts, we spend a lot of time talking about form and how to keep your heels on the floor during squats. So heels down, full squat. As you come up, you're going to come up with such power that you actually leave the floor. So down and up. So the difference between normal squats, this is a normal squat. What you're actually doing, without thinking about it, you're decelerating, you're slowing down so that at the top you're ready to drop again. I want you to think about using power in your quads and your glutes all the way up through that range of motion, even when you get to the top there. You can point your toes, leave the floor, land nice and softly, and go straight into that next squat as you're landing on the floor there. Again, that'll get your heart rate up. You can hear me, I'm breathing, breathing heavily already. After our squat jumps, we've got push-ups. Feel free to do them straight on the floor or on the mat here. With our push-ups, you're at the top of that high plank position. The hips are in between the shoulders and the heels. We're gonna drop ourselves down, chest to the floor, and then all the way up. drop ourselves down, chest to the floor, all the way up. Now, the angle at which your arms extend from your body is gonna be dependent on where you put your hands. It doesn't really bother me where you put your hands. If you wanna go out wide, you can do that. It's gonna activate more pec. If you wanna go nice and close and tuck those elbows into your sides, you're gonna use a lot more triceps, which is fine as well. If you wanna try and get a bit of a mix, then you're gonna change that up throughout the routine. That's completely up to you how you wanna do that. Some things you wanna think about though, if your wrists hurt, you wanna get them into a position where you've got less of an angle. Wrists will generally hurt when you've got 90 degrees from your hand to your forearm like that. So if you can find a position where you can open that angle up a bit, usually that's out to the sides, pointing the fingers out and a little bit wider, that can help a little bit with wrist pain, like that. So lots and lots of things you can do with your push-ups. After push-ups, we've got burpees, and this is 1 minute worth of burpees. So this is designed to get your heart rate really racing. A full burpee is dropping yourself down, chest to the deck, kick both legs out at the same time, chest floor, and then you're gonna jump up like you're jumping onto a surfboard, landing on your feet as close to your hands as possible, and then full hip extension, full knee, and full ankle extension as you jump up into the air with your hands above your shoulders. So down and up. Here we go. New friend, how you going? Welcome in. After a minute's worth of burpees, we're gonna go into our V-ups, again on the mat. So we've got some core work today. Now a V-up, we're gonna start with our hands above our heads, legs outstretched. We're gonna bring both our hands and our arms together, or our feet and our hands together, bang, and down. So if you look at my torso and my legs, we're making a V. We're gonna try and keep our legs as straight as possible. Try and tap those feet. And down. So the important part with those is that you're actually lowering yourself down under control. You're not gonna go too hard, too fast. You're trying to lower yourself down into controlled descent there. After V-ups, we've got side lunges. Picking a spot, the same spot that you did your skaters in, standing nice and tall. Instead of lunging forward like this, you're actually gonna go to the side. So keeping one leg nice and straight. The other leg, we're lunging down, keeping the torso upright. So lunge, up. Hopefully your chest, your head, your neck should all be completely upright. We're then gonna step to the side. Notice how both of my heels, both of my feet are flat on the floor as well, okay? So if you're going too far or too low, you're gonna notice your heels coming off the floor. Try and keep it so that your heels stay on the floor. And if that means that this is your lunge, that's fine. If you're gonna do the range of motion where you can keep good form, that's exactly what I want. I'd rather form over depth or form over speed with any of these movements here. After our side lunges, we've got alternating single leg plank. Yeah, so this one's tricky. This is not your green level plank. We're gonna put forearms on the floor. We're gonna get into that planking position with our hips in between our shoulders and our heels. Squeeze the butt, squeeze the quads. For 3 seconds, raise one leg, straight leg. 1, 2, 3, pop it down, take a break. Other leg, 1, 2, 3, pop it down, take a break. So what you should be feeling as that leg raises away from the floor, it's gonna be that one butt cheek that really, really, really starts to clench and extend. So what you wanna be feeling is that butt cheek on each side as the leg raises. If you feel your lower back doing some work, I'd like you to stop. I'd like you to either, if you're watching YouTube, pause the video. If you're here on Twitch, don't stress about the timer clicking down. If you feel your back, what it means is that you're not properly engaging your glutes. And that might be a discussion that we have after our workout in how you can start to activate those glutes properly. Because most back pain is caused by people not activating the right muscles. It's not that they have a back injury, it's not that they're old, none of that's nonsense. It's because they're not activating the right muscles to take the strain off of these tiny little ones that aren't designed to be taking a lot of big strain. So if you feel pain in your back during this workout, stop, send me a message, either in chat or in the comments below the video here, and we can talk a little bit about fixing that up, okay? So after our alternating single leg planks, we're gonna go to flutter kicks, which is almost the inverse of that. We're gonna be on the floor. What I tend to do is I like to put my hands out to the side here for support. We're gonna raise our feet about 10 degrees, 10, 15 degrees, and then we're gonna flutter them about 10, 15 degrees. So these are little kicks. Just pretend like you're swimming. Pretend like you've got a paddle board and you're using your legs to kick like a little paddle motor, right? My feet are not touching the floor and my legs are straight. If you're doing this right, all in here is gonna start to feel it. So flutter kicks are fun. Flutter kicks are quite brutal under the right circumstances. You'll often see them in movies where they're going through Navy SEAL Hell Week, etc. Those sorts of things. Roger. Nice one, Jason. All right, so after flutter kicks, we've got alternating jump lunges. Again, this is your blue level movement. This is not for the faint of heart. So if you do want to take a break during these ones, please do. With an alternating jump lunge, what we're gonna do is take a lunge forward. From this position, instead of standing up and then lunging with the other leg, we're gonna jump up into the air and then land in the opposing lunge. So the alternating lunge here. Jump up and land. The important things with this one, balance. If you find yourself balancing like you're on a tightrope like this, what it means is that you're landing with one foot in front of the other. I'd like you to make sure you're keeping some separation there. So if I face the camera here, you see I've got, whoa, even then, I only had a couple of like 30 centimeters worth of separation. If I go wider, there we go, a little bit wider, a lot more stability. If I try and land with one in front of the other like that, that's when you lose your balance. So keep some separation in between and then make sure that both feet land at the same time as well there. I'm trying to visualize, Jason, where I've seen that before. So after the alternating jump lunges, we're at the last movement of this workout. You see it's a long tutorial because we've got lots and lots of movements. So this one today should hopefully keep you busy, keep you not bored with anything. We've got plank rotations. So plank rotations, these ones, we're gonna be in a high plank. So instead of being on the forearms, we're actually gonna be up on our hands. We're gonna make that straight plank. The reason it's called a plank is because you're flat. You're a straight line. So this isn't a plank, like that. Bring it down, nice straight body. So with the rotations, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna keep my feet together, keep them glued together, the legs. Take one hand off the floor, rotate up, and then form a T pose. Hold that for a second, nice and slow, bring it down, and then we're gonna rotate the other way. So this doesn't look like it's much, and I can assure you my heart rate probably won't go up too much during this, but if I lose focus, if I don't brace my core, if I don't keep attention in my shoulders and in my glutes and in my hips, you fall over. So that's one of my favorite movements for stability and core bracing, because you're gonna find yourself failing if you don't think about that one as you do it. That's the last movement. So for the next 28 minutes, we're gonna do that twice. Each of those movements I went through, we're going through twice. It's not a lot. Put your watch into cardio mode if you are tracking this. Press go. And I'm gonna press go over here. So in 20 seconds, we're gonna start with those planks and push-ups. You ready? There we go. So make sure you have a towel, make sure you have some water handy, and let's get after it. You did some shadow boxing. Oh, and you got your back hurt. So yeah, watch out for boxing. Whenever you're throwing hands, here we go, planks to push-ups. So getting into the plank, squeezing everything up into that push-up position. Remember what I said about the feet, spread the feet. Now what I want you to do, try and build up a tempo. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 30 seconds is pretty intense for this. Good. So that one's shoulders and triceps. A lot of work there, bracing the core. Make sure you're breathing during that as well. You watching me sweat while you're cozy. All right, side skaters. So this is definitely a sweaty one. I'm actually gonna put the fan on because I'm feeling it's a little bit warm in here. Okay, so I'm gonna start on my left foot. I'm gonna be jumping about 1 meter to my right. So that's about 1 yard if you're in metric terms, or in imperial terms, sorry. And you're landing pretty solidly on that 1 foot. Now, lots of power. You can see, as I'm down here in this curtsy lunge, lots of power required from this left-hand side to push me across. Whoa, too much. So all of these movements today do require a certain amount of balance, coordination, and that's why I've got this as a blue workout. Because I'm assuming you've worked through the greens. We've started to learn how our bodies operate, okay? Get in here, Grace. Grace did really well last night. Look, I'm gonna back Grace on this, Jason. I had clients in here last night, but Grace came out to do a run. Now, she started running, and she did the old Forrest Gump, and even after doing like a 5K, she just kept on running, and she ended up covering 10K, which is great. So just off the cuff, jump on the treadmill, let's go for a run. Not even thinking about it, covered 10K. So today is a recovery day because that was pretty late in the evening. Nice. And even though Garmin said, based on her sleep, yeah, 3 minutes off a sub 60, definitely not mad about that. That's fantastic. Okay, so if you wanted to see my heart rate go up, this is gonna be the one, these jump squats. I want everyone to put a little bit of effort into these jump squats. Moving your whole body off of the ground requires a bit of force. It's funny when people think about, because there was recently a rocket launch, and a rocket the size of the Starship that left the ground, you have to think about how much force it actually requires to get something off of the ground, let alone into orbit. So much force required. And all you have to do is ask someone to do jumps, squat jumps for 30 seconds and ask them about how much energy that required. And then you think about how much energy you need to get, multiple tons worth of material up and off the ground. It's a lot of energy. So it's quite amazing. And there we go, heart rate's in the green already. Yeah, let's go on push-ups. We've got push-ups to do. I'm gonna do regular push-ups. My arm's gonna be at 45 degrees away from my body. That's some smooth movement, yeah. That's one thing I should note too, is that I've been doing this for a long time, and the things that may look easy or simple, or things that I take for granted, are the transition periods, the transition points. So where I'm landing on the ground, I've already started thinking about the next set of movements. So when I'm doing that jump, as I land, I'm already starting to bend my legs into that next squat. Topical, because last night one of my clients, he's an absolute beast. I decided, because he was two things. He was having trouble getting the orange ball up off the ground. So I've been thinking about ways to work on his posterior explosivity. And I'm not talking about Mexican food farts. Thinking about how to strengthen all the muscles on his back so he can explode off the ground. Let's do our burpees. And I was inspired by my workout yesterday, and I thought, hey, he's got the technical ability to learn how to do a barbell clean. And Grace bore witness to this. He's the first ever client that I've had that I've been able to basically have, by the end of the hour session, he was cleaning 50 kilograms, a 50 kilogram barbell off the floor with, I'm not gonna say Olympic level technique, but he was at the point where what you gotta think about is that smooth transition between the high pull, the high pull and then getting your hands underneath it. There's two sections. There's this bit, and then there's this bit. And it's the timing between being able to figure out how to change from the triple extension high pull and then have the bar use its momentum up, flick under it and catch, and then lift it up like that. So yeah, very important when it comes to athleticism. So I think that's the difference between powerlifting and more athletic style sports and movements. V-ups, let's go. Because powerlifting is generally one squat, one deadlift, one bench press. How heavy can it be? So you don't need to train transition points between complex movements. I think that's why I love Olympic lifting and why I love things like obstacle course racing, because it's not just running, it's not just a pull-up, you're actually combining running, pull-ups, muscle-ups, dips, low crawls, high jumps, long jumps, all of these things into one complete mess of movements, which is always great. And I think that's what leads to longevity and leads to quality of life, because we become a bit more adept at everything we do. Side lunge time. So like I said, remember, go to where you feel like your range of motion can take you. So you don't have to go as low as I do. If you want to do this, amazing. Start to get used to it. Start to get used to the feeling of having the hips open up, the adductors get a bit of a stretch on it, both heels flat on the floor, powering up, because you need a lot of power in one leg to be able to now drive your body and torso back to the starting point, okay? Because if you go too low, what can happen? Oh, I'm stuck. Oh no. So try to avoid that. Try and make sure that each movement can transition and flow into the next. Breathing big and deep into the belly. And you see where my hands are? It is a bit of a habit that I formed, but one way to increase the intensity on a side lunge is to hold a weight. And when you're holding a weight, my favorite place to hold a weight is in the goblet position, because it's adding a little bit of mass into the front of your center of gravity. So you then need to engage your posture. You need to be standing up a little bit taller. Jim, how are you going? Where do you buy chicken broth? In bulk? The stock market. Nice. Hey Kitty, how you going? Oh, we got these brutal planks. The alternating single leg planks. In 2, 1, remember it's a 3-second count. So right foot, 3, 2, 1, down. Make sure the leg is straight leg. So you notice how my hips don't move either. The hips, where my hips are in the plank to begin with, they stay there, and I'm just raising that leg. 1, 2, 3, and down. Take a breath, kick it up. 1, 2, 3, and down. So you're using your glute, using that one butt cheek to raise the whole straight leg. And you should, hopefully for 3 seconds, have that butt cheek engaged. Isometrics, that's the name for tension without changing length. So a plank here, isometrics are super important, and they make you realize you don't have to be moving to do work. Anyone that's done our max length wall sit or a max plank can attest. You don't need to be moving to crack a sweat. Amazing, well done, well done. I do have an accent. This accent is from the southern portion of Australia. Well, we're Australian. Personally, I was born in the Philippines, but I don't carry the Filipino accent. I'm a little glad about that because I'm not a huge fan. I'm not a huge fan of the, I don't know. I think it's because when I grew up with cousins, I had this really, really, really annoying cousin. Flutter kick, here we go. I had a super annoying cousin, and he'd always, you know, before mobile phones, you know the kids that come up to you and they're like, hi, do you have any games on your phone? Do you have any games on it? Can I play the games on your phone? You know that annoying, like that? So before mobile phones were a thing, I had a cousin that would constantly harass me and, Jeff, can I go on the internet? Jeff, can I go on the internet, please? And it wore me down. It wore me down. I couldn't. And so it's just whenever I hear the standard Filipino American accent, it's just like, oh, I get thrown back to being hassled to use the internet. Oh, okay, alternating jump lunges, let's go. Hey, Beardy, how you going, mate? So we're gonna step forward into this lunge, and from here, we're gonna explode up and down. Explode up, control down. The controlled descent is super important because I don't want you smashing your knees. Please do not smash your knees. If you feel like you're gonna have issues, get onto the mat, because at least it's squishy then. But really, really, really focus on not letting the knee drop and focus on having both legs hit the floor at the same time, or both feet hit the floor at the same time, like this. There we go, good. Oh, slightly sore from yesterday's festivities, roger that. I do know that the Anzac Day festivities do sometimes, we were talking about it earlier, they can sometimes, so it's the memorial and the somber part can sometimes flip into a celebration of life, which I think a lot of good wakes do. Good memorials, good wakes. You can celebrate a life that someone did lead. Plank rotations. So, hope you're doing all right, Beardy. Hope you're getting your vitamin B12 in and rehydrating. Here we go. So, nice and slow. With a plank rotation, it's one of those movements where I actually value a slow movement over number of reps. If you can do this one and make it look slow motion, you're doing something right. Just like those machines on social media that you can see doing a slow motion muscle up. That is super impressive. That's probably one of the most impressive things that I can see, or that I see in a gym. If someone's able to muscle up in slow motion, man, that's a good muscle up. Nice and slow. Try not to lose your balance like I just did. 5 more seconds, we can do one of these. Keeping your hips in between your shoulders and your feet is very important with that one, because as soon as you break at the hips, as soon as you bend like that, throws your center of gravity off and you're more likely to land on your butt. Yeah, you got invited back to the local barracks. Hey, yeah, that's cool. So we're halfway through, team. How's that? How you going? How you feeling? Halfway through this workout, so good times. Should turn that up a bit. You can see I'm sweating. Didn't take long, 15 minutes worth of work. Hey, oh yeah. Nice. So 20 more seconds, we're gonna repeat that whole thing through. It's only one more time through, you've done it once already. So if you feel comfortable with what you just did, I'd like you to push the intensity. We're not necessarily trying to hold you back in this workout. This is one where I'd like you to go hard. You're already at home, so you may as well go hard. Yeah, let's go. Planks to push-ups. So, add a bit of spice to it, but remember what I said before. Do not sacrifice form for speed. Never, never, never. Form is always king. Speaking of the barracks and speaking of the armed forces, there was a TikTok I saw the other night and I hit like, so I'm being fed more and more of it. And it's good because it's a fun one. He's a recruitment officer from the United States Army. I think it's either Army or the Marines. So I apologize for if I've made the wrong call there. But he goes to, he works at the recruitment offices and he works at high schools and basically does a pull-up challenge. And he looks for people who can understand the assignment. Now this happened with me. I was working, I had the absolute privilege and pleasure of working with a strength and conditioning coach from the Aussie Commandos. So it's one of the special forces of the Army. and they're one of the few arms of the Australian Armed Forces that are allowed to grow a beard. So it's one of those instances where if you see someone in their position and they've got a beard, it's like, oh, okay, they're special guys. So I had the absolute pleasure of working with one of them, and one of the assignments that they actually gave out, there was a group of 14 people, and they were testing to see who might be suitable for the commandos, and there came a pull-up challenge where basically bicycle crunches, let's go. They said, the way that he worded it was quite important. He actually said, okay, you see we've got this bar here, and I need you all to go from full arm extension to chin above the bar as many times as possible, go. And so you had a lot of the bro dudes jumped up and started doing pull-ups, started doing chin-ups, started, muscling through. Some things to note, he said, I want full arm extension. So what happened was that people took his words and they interpreted it however they wanted to. And a lot of the interpretations turned into pull-ups, but the problem was a lot of the pull-ups looked like this. Like that, right? They completely forgot about the part where he said full arm extension. You want to go from dead hang lockout to chin above the bar, dead hang lockout to chin above the bar. One of our friends, actually Grace, our mutual friend, the one that's helped us build our house, she was part of it. She was part of this commandos group. And what she did, she's like, hey, kneel on the ground for me. And what? And so a dude actually got on the ground like this, and it was great. It was like a pure dominatrix moment. It was cool. She stood on his back, and then she did this. On his back. And everyone's like, psh, psh, what's she doing? And then right at the end, the commando was like, the one that performed best out of all you was her. She understood the assignment. She understood that I didn't put any restrictions on it, right? And she followed the rules. She went from full arm extension to chin above the bar as many times as possible. And she did what she needed to get it done. So I was like, okay, cool. So the reason I brought that up is because the recruitment officer from the United States Armed Forces, he went to high schools basically saying, we're doing a pull-up competition, full arm extension, dead hang, chin above the bar. And every single high school he went to, he's like, present to me your warrior. Present to me your pull-up champion. And he'd sit there and basically on TikTok going, okay, go. 0 reps, 0 reps, 0 reps, 0 reps, 0 reps. Because it was just like, so it was, you gotta understand the assignment, and also 0 reps unless your form is on point. It wasn't Grace. No, it wasn't great. Grace knows my friend. Yeah. So here we go. Burpees, let's go. So Grace knows who I'm talking about. Yeah, sorry. I think I'm in my muffled chatter there while I'm doing workout. So everyone needs to be doing full rep burpees. So you see, when this happens, 0 reps, 0 reps, 0 reps. They're not burpees, okay? This is what we're going. Chest to floor, hands above the head, the shoulders, full hip extension. You see that? Full hip extension means legs straight, torso straight. Yeah, and I think the important thing to note is that it had already been like 2 hours worth of training. So everyone was at a elevated heart rate, everyone was tired, everyone was fatigued. And what he was looking for was who could big brain whilst under physical duress. Because that's a big part of it, is that, you know what, to be part of the special forces, it's not just grunt work. It's not just physical prowess. It's being able to have that mental acuity as well, whilst under physical duress. So lots of stuff, lots of challenges out there for anyone that feels like they're up to it. So V's, go for full V's. If you find you can't do these ones, bend the legs. Go from boat to sit up. Also go Shavasana to boat. That's the way to do it. Otherwise, straight legs, touch those feet. Awesome. Side lunges. We haven't got long now, chat. Team, let's go. 6.5 minutes. And you can bring it, tick the box. You can put a big old tick in that box. So I've done a workout today. Feels good. I feel like I want to get a big Jeff workout in after this. Let's do it. Look, I've got a marathon to run, so what I need to be training is endurance. I'll bring up one of the FFP baseline metric workouts, and we'll get that one sorted. So I can show you what I put my clients through. It might look hellish, but the purpose behind the FFP baseline workouts is that they are hellish the first time you do them. And then you spend a bit of time working, you spend a bit of time training with me, and then 3 months down the track, we do it again, we redo it. And we show ourselves, we show the world how much we're improving. How have you been, Jason, by the way? It's been a while since we've been able to chat on stream. I'm gonna be going back to earlier time slots too. So today was a bit later than what I was aiming for in my normal schedule, but I'll be going back to the 6:30 a.m. start. Not necessarily starting the workout right on 6:30 a.m. I could potentially be writing the workout on stream with chat, and then we perform the workout. So I think that's fun because we can talk about how I put things together. I don't want to release too many of my secrets, obviously, but yeah, these are the hellish planks, hell planks. Let's go. We're gonna go one leg, 3, 2, 1, bring it down. Make sure your hips are in between your shoulders and your feet. After each lift, just reset yourself. Reset that plank. Squeeze the glutes, squeeze the quads, tilt the hips, tilt the pelvis. And gold soul, you're still here? What's the most important part of the plank? What would Mikey say? Hold your pee. You're gonna be holding your pee. So squeezing those pelvic floor muscles. Okay, helps with everyone. Not just people that have the ability to get pregnant or have been pregnant and have gone through the laborious task of childbirth. Pelvic floor muscles take a beating during that. But pelvic floor muscles, for everyone, they help with your core bracing. You left work early today? Oh no! Oh no! I have some food poisoning, yuck. I hate that. What did you eat? Was it well, what food do you think attributed to your food poisoning? Flutter kicks. Just allergic to work. Yeah, that could be it. Work is poison. Poison work. Okay, flutter kicks. Kick, 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 kick. This is a good one to do in the surf. Have your back to the waves, have your feet to the shore, and you're gonna be about this much water. And what it does, teaches you to breathe conservatively. Because once the waves hit your head, you gotta hold your breath. You're not gonna suck that in. So you gotta make sure you've got enough oxygen in your body, or you've built up enough of a carbon dioxide poisoning tolerance that you can close your mouth, stop breathing as soon as the waves hit you. Waves come crashing over, you can then take a breath. So that's a really good one. There's been a bit of a stomach bug going around. I've been all right stomach-wise. I think I've been pretty good. Yeah. All right, let's do these jump lunges. Can't complain. Yeah, look, if you're working from home as well, then that's fine, isn't it? If you're doing the same thing, but just doing it from the comfort of your bathroom. Nice. So keeping it nice and powerful. How you going at home? Those of you following, those of you watching along on YouTube, leave me a comment and let me know if there's anything here that you had problems with or anything you'd like to see in future. Good. All right, team, last movement. We've got 30 seconds rest, 30 seconds recovery. Plank rotations. Let's do this. I'm gonna move this out just a little bit. Whew. Yeah, the post-COVID world's an interesting one when it comes to work and working from home. Let's go. So remember what I said about these? Slow it down. And then when you get to the top of this, make sure you're squeezing your butt. Because if you do this, like as soon as I do that, I feel like I want to fall over. So always be pushing those hips forward. It's always easier to recover from your hips being too far forward, like being too far extended. It's easier to recover from than if your hips are flexed and your butt's sticking out too much. That's harder to recover from. So make sure you've just got it in a good position from the get-go. Lots of bracing in the shoulders and in the lats. Keep those feet glued together. Nearly lost it there. Bring it up. Rotate down, good. 5 seconds. We're nearly there, team. Well done everyone. Good midweek workout. Take a breath, shake it off, and you can tick that box. So that's 28 minutes worth of work. So stop your watch as well, by the way. Hey Nina. All right, so stop your watch, hit save, and I'll bid you farewell. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you go check out the Twitch channel, twitch.tv/fit4purpose, where weekday mornings, Adelaide time, we do this live. So if you've got questions, hey Jeff, that skater that I was doing, I feel a little bit of pain in here. I can pop it onto a queue. I can then chat about it after the stream. And we can link you to maybe some Jeff workouts that'll specifically help strengthen those areas. But otherwise, if you want some more of this level of workout, check out the blues. Greens are a bit easier, purples are a bit more epic. And we'll catch you on the next FFP video. See ya.